Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Results Mastery podcast. It's great to have you here. Thank you very much for your time. I always believe that when people spend time with me, and I try to make sure that I give them the best possible return on investment for their time, not necessarily for their money, but certainly for their time, because that's the most valuable resource we've all got. So if you're here for the first time, then welcome. If you're a returning, then that's great. I'm really glad to see you back. Don't forget, if you've not yet subscribed to the podcast, then please do so. Now, today, I'm really lucky to have with me a gentleman he's a client of mine, to be honest, but he's also a friend of mine. His name is Stewart Newberry, and he runs a company called Positive Practice. He comes from an accountancy background, and I'd like to welcome him into the conversation. So thank you ever so much for being here, Stuart. It's great to have you. We've been saying we're going to do this for forever, haven't we? And we've just got
And
on
we
to
not got
it.
round to it until today.
Yeah, yeah. So it's great to have you here. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Do you want to kick off, Stuart, by telling people? I've sort of told them that you're an
Yeah.
accountant, but in my opinion, you're much more than what I call a normal accountant, as it were. So, do you want to tell them a little bit about you and your background and what you do,
Okay.
please?
So I've actually been working for over 40 years. I've actually run my own practice as an accountancy practice for 23 years. Uh, Before my own practice, I worked in large industry, and that was everything from the chemical industry, the telecommunications industry, the print industry, uh, to name but a few. And there's a fair few in there. Um, I started my own practice because I felt that I had more to offer um, businesses. And when you've worked in a large business, you understand that what you can do is limited because of the politics and the size and the impact one individual can have. So I thought I could impact a lot more businesses for the better if I started my own practice. It was also a lifestyle choice. Being your own boss is always a good thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, you're then working for a hard taskmaster and
sure.
you're having to work very hard.
Yeah,
Uh, so 23 years later, I'm still running my practice. I'm focused now not just on the compliance side, which is tax returns and accounts, which most people assume these all accountants do.
hmm,
Um, I've spent my 40 years learning how businesses run and how the finance side of a business can actually make that far more successful or far more likely to be successful if run properly. Um, I have all of the qualifications in accountant, but I also have a master's in business administration,
right.
commonly known as an MBA,
Yeah,
which took 2.5 years of hard work to get. And there was only one little module in on finance in that. Everything else was everything but finance. So I bring that background to my current clients, and we specialize in helping them run better businesses.
brilliant. Okay, thank you very much for that. Thank you. Uh, for those of you who don't know of a guy called Michael Gerber, I strongly advise that you go and buy a book called The E-Myth. Now, I want to be clear, I'm not selling it, right? Go and buy it on Amazon or wherever, because it contains some really, really powerful words. And one of the things that Gerber talks about is he talks about the three departments of any business, those departments being finance, operations, and marketing. You've got to manage the money, you've got to do the work, and you've got to sell the stuff. And I believe, and I know Stuart has the same belief because we've spoken about this in the past, that most business owners, when they go into business, they go into business because they're good at doing the work that the business does. They're experienced at it. Often they've been, whatever it is they do for like 10 years, 20 years. So, perhaps I'm a hairdresser and I've been working in a hairdressing salon, or maybe I've worked in a care home. and now I become a care home owner, and I'm good at doing that. That's what I love, and that's my passion. The problem being when people are not very good at selling and marketing what they do, and then they become that sort of best kept secret. And the second problem is that they're not good at managing the financial side of the business. And that's the side, obviously, getting Stuart on today that I want to talk about. So, Stuart, what do you think are I don't know, if I said the top three and it could be top five, whatever you think, what are the main errors and mistakes that people make on the financial side of the business? Because again, just before you answer that, I just want to make one other point, and that is that according to Gerber, 80% of small businesses that start go bust within 5 years. Now, I'm sure that's going to go up or down a little bit, but the chances are, if you're starting off in business, you got to make sure that you know and understand the marketing side as well as the financial side. So back to Stuart, what do you think are the big problems, the things that the people are getting wrong right now?
My pet theory is the three biggest issues are for business owners. Number one is lack of proper planning.
Yeah,
Number two is lack of understanding their numbers.
yeah.
I'll explain more on that. And three is related to number two, but it's so essential, which is proper cash flow management.
Hmm.
Um, the cash flow goes back to what you just said. 80% of businesses fail within the first 5 years,
Yeah,
usually because of they run out of cash or they have a cash crisis. I think that statistic gets worse because out of the 20% that survive, another half of those don't last 10 years.
yes,
So
yeah.
that's 95% of businesses not lasting more than 10 years.
So that's very inspirational, this podcast, isn't it? You got a 90%,
Yeah,
95% chance that you're going to fail, guys. So,
yeah,
but there are things you can do to mitigate that and to reduce.
exactly. And that's where the stats you can actually change.
Yeah,
So if you are aware of your numbers,
yeah,
have a plan and understand proper cash flow management, you can change those numbers.
change that.
You could become one of that 20% that
Yeah.
survive more than 10 years and then survive more than 10,
It's so interesting to hear you say that because I say that to people, but from a marketing point of view, you need a marketing plan. You need to understand your marketing and sales numbers as well as your financial numbers, and it's so important. And yet, I don't know about in the finance world, but in the marketing world, people don't have a clue. When I ask how many people go to your website, how many leads did you get, where did they come from, questions like that, they go, well, I don't really know. I've not been on to Google Analytics for 6 months to have a look, and it's a real
and
problem.
that 80% of those businesses that fail within that first 5 years will be doing what, and I've just written a blog post on this. They'll be managing their business finances, effectively looking in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about this because tell the story if you would about the rear view mirror because I think that's a great way of looking at business, particularly from a finance point of view.
So I use an analogy of driving a car to
Yeah,
drive your business. Um, the vast majority of businesses that fail are owned by people who rely on their accounts, which they delivered at the year end to their accountant. Now that could be a week after the year end, or in the UK, it could be up to 9 months after the UK, after the year end, and still be in time. That's what they manage their business on. They look at the profits in the rearview mirror. They're looking at what happened potentially 18 months ago,
yeah,
12 months ago, 9 months ago at best. That's what they're looking at. Whereas, of course, if you're driving your business and you're driving a car, you've got a windscreen in front of you. You've got a sat nav which tells you where you should be going. You've got a steering wheel which you controls of your business, your levers, increase profit, turn this direction, turn that direction. You've also got, in most cars, an accelerator,
You
which
would
is
also.
do I press that
Yeah,
now to
yeah,
push my sell
yeah.
more?
It's forward,
Do
yeah.
I put
Is it
do I
time
put
to,
do I put the brakes on
yeah, yeah,
to cut back on stuff?
yeah.
So that's the analogy I use. Um, to carry that analogy a little bit further on, of course, having a cash flow forecast tells you when you might need to refill the car for fuel, when you need more money in,
Mhm, mhm.
when you need more sales, taking it back to marketing. Having a proper plan is basically putting your destination in your sat nav, and your sat nav tells you how
Yeah,
to get there in 3 years' time.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's it. So those are the levers. But 80% of business owners are all stood
Don't-
looking in the rearview mirror, trying to drive their business. And then when they crash into something,
yeah.
it wasn't behind them,
No,
it came up in front of them.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So that's the analogy I use with people.
yeah,
Um, it's amazing how many people go, well, that's what we have to do. We have to do our accounts. Yes, you have to do that. I'm
yeah.
not saying you don't have to do that, but that is, you're just complying with the law. You want your finances, the lifeblood of your business is money.
Hmm.
You want to control that, manage it as you do your staff, as you do the machinery that you use
Yeah,
in the most effective and efficient way
yeah.
to get you where you, as a
Want to
business
go.
owner, want to be.
Yeah. So let's talk about the planning because I know you've got some interesting thoughts. We were talking about your 3 year plan, your 1 year, your 90 day. Just tell people about that, and then I'd like to ask you about what are the important numbers. You're saying it's about numbers, which I totally agree. So what are the important financial numbers that, on the first of every month or whenever in a month, people are going to have to sit down, look at those numbers, and then work out what they need to do in order to try and improve those numbers next month. So kick off with the planning side, if you would, please.
So when I started my business, everybody had a business plan, only because to get a bank account, a business bank account, you had to take a business plan
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
bank manager.
yeah,
You remember bank managers?
yeah,
We we used to have things. People had a job called
yeah,
bank manager.
yeah.
You used to have to take a business plan to a bank manager, and they would review that before they even gave you a
Decide
business
whether to
account.
give you an account. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, back then, bus- uh, business plans were usually around 35 pages long. They had your market analysis, what you were going to do, your proposals, and your forecasts.
Hmm.
I can almost guarantee I knew where every single one of those business plans were after that meeting with the with the bank manager.
Yeah,
They were always in someone's top or middle left-hand drawer of their desk.
yeah,
The reason for that is most people are right-handed,
yeah,
so the left-hand side is not used much.
yeah.
It wasn't important enough to be in the top drawer, but you paid good money to get it, so it was usually in the second drawer down.
Yes.
That's where you could almost guarantee to find every business plan after the bank manager had seen him. Um, so probably 14 years ago, I looked at how I was doing business planning for businesses then and said, there must be a better way. So I've over the last 14 years developed a very simple method. It's called WWHN plan, where, what, how, now. And that looks at a 3 year, a 1 year, a 90 day, and then the now is what will you do today that gets you on that route to your successful plan. Uh, it's usually on one piece of paper, and I think my record was 32 businesses completing a WWHN plan in 17 minutes.
Wow.
We were at a networking event,
And
and
everybody's got that time, haven't
yeah,
they?
Yeah, exactly. A networking event, and we had a 15-minute slot to do this demonstration. So I got everybody to do a 3-year plan, a 1-year plan, 90-day plan,
Wow.
and even the what would I do this week if that's the most important thing for me to do.
Yeah.
32 businesses managed to do it in,
And,
in
and I,
actually 17 minutes.
And I will say, Stuart, that I'm one of those businesses that's done it. I actually
Yep,
did it and added it to the dashboard of my CRM system. So if you go to my CRM system, you'd see my 3-year goals, my 1-year objectives, and my 90-day plan to achieve those two things. And do you know, I read it every morning, and it just makes it sink in there, doesn't it? That I need to when I think, right, what shall I do now? Ah, back to the plan. What are the I think I've got five goals for the next 3 months that I want to try to achieve. So what do I need to do under those headings in order to get me where I want to go?
exactly.
It really
I
is.
mean, I mean, it's not a detailed 30 odd page document.
Oh no,
It's bullet points.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
so it's
Could be done on an A4 piece of paper.
A4 piece of paper folded in four.
Yeah,
Easy.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Your 3-year, you go, what's your ideal turnover in 3 years' time?
yeah.
And from that, you can go, well, if I want £500,000 turnover in 3 years' time, I really need to have, say, £250,000 turnover in the next year,
Yeah,
which means that I've actually got to earn X in the next 90 days.
yeah.
So you set your objective, your goal, where you want to be, and then
Yeah,
you derive what you need to do and how you're going to do it.
fantastic. Yeah, yeah,
And then, the,
yeah,
as you know, you've read the One Thing book.
yeah.
What's the one thing that you can do today that will drive your business forward?
Yeah, yeah. Another brilliant book, by the way.
Yeah.
The One Thing. Go and buy that
Yes.
book. That's 2 books, and you can buy another book, which is your book, Stuart, which sort of outlines your plan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Tell them a little bit about that, if you would, please.
So if you go onto Amazon and search out for myself, you can see Stewart Newberry. I'm not town in Berkshire. Steve will be laughing now.
Fair
Yeah, my name's
Newbury, Berkshire.
spelled strange. So
Yeah,
I'm spelled Newberry,
yeah,
and Stuart is Stewart. So
yeah,
all spelled as though the surnames.
yeah.
If you search on Amazon, you will find a number of books. One is how to earn £10,000 in 45 minutes.
Okay.
So that's a little
Sounds good.
no book. The WWHN plan is actually the journal. So it actually is a workbook
Yeah, yeah.
to
Which
help you to actually achieve that.
yeah, yeah,
So it has an outline of what to do. It
yeah,
has a place for you to draw up your own WWHN plan,
yeah,
and it has then 90 days
yeah.
program of what you should be
That's
doing each day, and you can record your own efforts in
yeah,
that.
yeah. Brilliant. Thank you.
That's available on Amazon.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. And the last question that I just come back to that I was talking a few minutes about is you said everybody's got to have up-to-date financial
Yep,
knowledge and information. What are the numbers that I get to the end of the month and I look at my financial software, I look at my systems and I go, right, these are the numbers that I really need to. I mean, obvious things like how
yep.
much cash has come in and turnover and profit. They go without saying. But what are the other numbers that you think are really important for people?
Some are generic,
Yeah,
and you've just named a couple. I I don't bother about turnover. I'm more bothered about gross profit.
yeah,
So this is your profit after your costs of making or selling whatever it is
yeah,
before your expenses.
yeah,
So if you sell a tin of beans for 10 pence and you bought it for five pence, your gross profit on that tin of beans is five pence.
Pence. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's no point turning over 10 million if your costs are 11 million, is there?
Yeah,
You're not
yeah,
doing very well.
yeah.
So I love that saying.
Turnover is
Yeah, go on,
fantasy,
say it, yeah,
profit is cash is reality.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And there's variations on that.
Yeah, turnover is. I was going to say turnover is vanity, profit
Vanity.
is sanity. Yeah, but
Yeah, yeah.
same thing.
There's variations on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, of course, the next key indicator is your net profit. So we've got gross profit, but we now have all the overheads of
mm,
you running your business.
mm,
They have to be taken off. Once you've taken those off, that's your net profit. So the net profit is actually what's left after you've paid your staff, paid your rent,
paid
paid
it.
all the bills before you paid your tax, but also paid your suppliers for all that, and and the money your income. So that's your net profit. Those are two key accountancy numbers.
Yeah,
Some people then say, "Oh, well, would you really need to know about your cash ratios and all that?" Most businesses, those two numbers are key.
yeah,
I would say the next key number is your cash.
yeah,
Now, cash, I see an awful lot of people who run their businesses looking in the very rearview mirror, but
hmm,
also, if they're really clever, they'll also look at how much is in the bank account,
yeah, 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 yeah,
but they'll look at the bottom line,
yeah.
what the balance is.
Yes,
Now, it's great on your phone,
yeah.
most bank apps tell you what your balance is. That doesn't tell you about your liabilities
No,
or money coming in. So
yeah,
that is false.
yeah.
Your cash position is once you've paid all your bills, once you've received all the money outstanding, how much cash have you got? That links back to one of the key things that I said all businesses needed, which was a cash flow forecast.
Yes, yeah,
You need to know at any stage in your year
yeah,
your cash position.
yeah,
I mean, some businesses are seasonal.
yes,
So in the summer, the ice cream man
yeah,
makes loads of money.
yeah.
Bit harder in the UK winter.
December.
February, I was
Yeah,
thinking
yeah, yeah,
March.
probably, yeah. Even more.
This year is February, March was quite cold as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, it's quite hard to sell ice cream. So he's got to make his money in that time. He's got to build up cash reserve that pays for that MOT on his ice cream van
Hmm.
that comes out in November
Yeah,
and the repairs, etc.
mm,
So knowing your cash position in relation to your cash flow is key.
it's good.
Um, and then another one which I think is really vital um, for most businesses is your return on your investment.
Mm,
Because
mm.
I deal with business owners, I don't deal with corporates, I don't deal with institutions, I don't deal with public limited companies. My target is really below £3 million.
Yeah,
Uh, so I'm talking to the owner,
yeah,
and the owner has got time and money invested in that business.
sure.
And one thing that every business owner should be aware of is what is he getting back for his investment.
Mm, mm.
The rest of the numbers that you could monitor, and I usually say you want to be monitoring no more than five others, are what are called KPIs.
Yes,
These are specific to your business.
yeah.
So if we take a care home, it could be occupancy rate of the rooms.
Hmm.
We take a domiciliary care company who send out care workers to individuals,
Yeah,
it might be hours, units sold
hmm. Yeah,
of care. And they're usually measured in 20 to 15-minute blocks.
yeah.
But if you've got 10 staff and their staff utilization is only half the time,
Hmm.
you're paying them for 100% of the time, but you're only getting income for
Yeah, they're only
50% of the time.
working half the time. Yeah, yeah.
So this is where your KPIs, your key performance indicators for
Performance.
your business become important.
Yeah,
Now,
and
some of those,
industries as well, aren't they?
yeah, Yeah, they're industry specific, but to be honest, looking at someone's accounts, looking at their transactions, you may come up with others.
Yes.
So you may, I mean, we've talked about it recently. You may look at similar to a return on investment. How much are you spending on your advertising?
Yeah.
How much does it cost you to
Yeah.
buy a new customer?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, if you're spending more on your advertising than you are actually getting receiving from that new customer,
Uh-huh.
and it's a one-off sale, you
Yeah.
don't advertise.
Mm.
But if that customer is going to be like most of mine coming back for the next 10, 15 years, guess what? Spending more than they're paying year one might be worth it
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
because you've got a return, you've got a recurring income over 10 years.
Yeah.
So those are the sort of numbers. And this is where an accountant who can help businesses
Going forward.
grow
Mm.
going forward, not looking in the rearview mirror, they then start saying, right, these are the numbers that you manage. So
Fantastic.
you actually start then managing the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
you know, right down to I looked at set of accounts the other day, and from that I could see that the level of stock the business had was going up.
Mm.
Sales were static, and you then say, well, is that just the cost of stock going up,
Mm.
or are they buying more stock,
Yeah.
more units of
Why
stock?
is that?
And if that's the case, have they put their prices up because they're selling the same amount? So if
Mm.
the stock level remains the same, they're
Mm-hmm.
buying 10 units, selling 10 units, the price of those units to them has gone up, but the price that they're selling it at hasn't.
Hasn't. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
the numbers start telling you a story, and you can then start influencing that.
Brilliant. That's really, really valuable. So I wanted to ask you before we finish, Stuart, a little bit about, I know you've developed some new programs. Obviously, you've told me about them and I know and understand what they are, but would you tell people about the programs that you're just literally launched? I mean, there's something, you've been doing, for a long time. You've been helping out in this way, but there's separate programs that are geared towards helping people at different sort of levels of support almost. So if you could just explain briefly a little bit about each of those. Yeah, if you could do
Yeah.
that.
So we have two key services. There's a third one which is one that we keep in the background and we only recommend when necessary. The key services are the virtual finance office. So as you said earlier, people are very good at operationally running their businesses, but may not be good at the finances. They may, you know, the old times of doing the books on a Friday evening
Yeah,
over the kitchen table
yeah,
and pulling your hair out and going, how does the bank balance match? Yeah, that sort of thing are gone. We provide a virtual finance office service, so we become your finance office. We actually run your finances for you.
yeah.
So you may tell us there's invoices, we process those invoices, we process your sales, your purchases, we tell you you need to be paying at any one time, who you should be chasing. We can even chase your debtors for you if necessary. We also can sort out your wage issues, paying your staff, calculating all that. So we basically take out that finance function. So you don't have to employ yourself as a bookkeeper, a separate bookkeeper, an accountant, all that. We do that. We add value by then saying, and this is what your numbers tell us.
Right.
That's the virtual finance office. Our second offering is virtual financial controller. This is for probably slightly larger businesses who want input back more than just telling them the numbers. They want some guidance.
Yeah.
So this is where we're then providing. You've got a financial manager who's advising the business owner what the finances are not only saying, but how to manage that. Mentioned about putting prices up. We can look at costing, we can look at pricing, we can actually look at client profitability. I'm working with one client where we've actually broken their business down into 12 sectors. We can tell them not only the revenue for each of those sectors, but how profitable each of those sectors are. And we're already seeing that there's two areas of his business where he's actually losing money.
Yeah, do you know, this is so powerful because they're so, they're not on their own, are they? There's
No,
so
no,
many
no.
businesses that
Yeah,
are not fully aware of where their money is coming from, whether that's from a marketing perspective, that they're getting all their business from their website and yet they're putting all their effort into Facebook. Or from a financial side where, this product is really profitable twice as much as
yeah, yeah.
profit be. Yeah,
And yet, they're spending money on promoting the unprofitable stuff,
yeah, yeah,
whereas if they spent that same money on promoting the profitable
yeah.
element of their business, they'd actually make more money.
It comes back to that saying, you cannot manage what you do not measure, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And
Whether,
the financial controller element, our financial controller puts financial control on steroids. It actually gives you information to be able to the business owner to not only see what's happening, make the right decisions,
yeah,
plan,
yeah,
but also if they've got goals and plans that they want to achieve, we can do forecasts, budgets.
yeah,
We can actually then take and what do you want to do? I'm talking to a client who's got a plan to expand their business. They know there's going to be costs involved to do that. What we're doing is we're actually doing a budget saying, well, this is the costs, this is how much you're going to be making if it works out. Here's your break even point.
yeah,
Can your business take X number of months
yeah,
subsidizing this new enterprise?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Is it going to distract them from other parts of their business?
yeah,
Is your idea worth it?
yeah, yeah,
So we're doing that financial analysis, we're doing that financial modeling
yeah,
to give them not only an idea of what they can do, is it viable, but also we can say, well, if you do this, you need to charge X. You need to sell so many units before you break even.
yes,
Anything above that, you're
yeah,
in the money.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You will notice all our advice is based on the other criteria that I didn't mention about myself. Is and Steve will laugh again at this. I'm a blunt Yorkshire lad.
yeah,
Um, it's not yeah, it's not rocket science. I don't baffle my clients with long words,
yeah,
formulas, etc. I'd cut down the information. And
yeah, yeah,
it's straightforward, plain Yorkshire advice.
yeah,
Why would you spend that money
yeah,
when you can earn as much in
yeah,
the bank or whatever?
yeah,
And that's how we built our financial services.
yeah, yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much for that. So, if people want your help, and I want to stress something because I think it's important. Yes, yes, you can help as their accountant, but they might already have an accountant
Yeah,
who's helping them, with the
yeah, review mirror.
year and all that sort of stuff. And they could carry on with that one if they want. That's my understanding.
Yeah, yeah,
If they want to work with you and want help going forward, growing their business and managing it and making sure that everything's, all the boxes are ticked, what should they do? How do they get hold of you, Stuart?
check out our website, www.p-practice.com, and practice with a C. You
Practice.com.
can see it in front if you're watching the video. You can reach me at S Newbury, that's SNEWBERRY at p-practice.com,
Yeah.
or you can give me a call.
Okay.
Um, use it using our office number 01756 709 210.
210. Thank you very much. So it just remains for me to say, well, firstly, I'd like to say thank you ever so much, and that was brilliant. That was really, really valuable. I think we together, and mainly you, provided some great ideas for people listening and some food for thought. But like all things, that was a spending time with Stuart and I will tell you now, was a total and utter waste of time until and unless you do something. That's what gets results. I say that on every single time I do a podcast. It's about action, it's learning stuff. I always remember listening to Tony Robbins say, knowledge is a waste of time. The application of knowledge is everything. So I hope you've learnt some ideas, but more than that, I hope you actually implement those ideas and take your business to the next level. So if you want to know more from me, mine's, I always get this mixed up. No,
That way.
it's
That
there,
way.
isn't it? It's there, right? That's my website, results-mastery.com. It's very confusing because it's like the opposite way around to what it should be. So thank you ever so much. Look forward to seeing you or hearing from you in the future. We'll be back on the next Results Mastery podcast. And in the meantime, take action to grow your business. Thank you ever so much for listening.